One. And
Yep, we are live and direct.
you know what? I almost wish that sometimes Devout, like, we should
Yeah.
like start the recording just a bit earlier, just so that we, the
Oh,
people, our little, our little bits and pieces that we do beforehand.
what you mean? The 40 minutes earlier that just happened.
The 40 minutes earlier that
Uh,
just happened, and the shit that we were
this
talking
reminds me
about.
of that bit in Contact, to the guys like, you know, we we actually have a recording. It wasn't just 8 minutes. It was actually 4 hours.
I was,
You know that bit
oh
in
man,
Contact when
yeah,
I think they recorded Jodie Foster's interaction with the aliens or whatever, and they had like 8 minutes of static,
static.
but really they had
What
4 hours
I
of
was,
actual something that they didn't release to the
yeah,
public, and the man
that
was
was
going like
wicked.
this to the screen. He's going, "Why?"
Holy shit. If anyone can answer
uh,
that question, please
yeah,
write
please.
into us. Send a
Hmm.
postcard into us. Do you remember when they used to do that on TV? Send a postcard to,
Oh my gosh.
gosh,
Do people even
seriously.
send letters now, like actual
Ah,
physical letters?
no, I don't know if people write anymore.
Mm-mm.
Um, so listen up, folks. Here we are back again, Deval and I in the hot seats, and we are bringing you episode 20. Where are we?
208, because it's
208.
great. Hmm.
208 because it's great. So listen, episode 208, the Flixters. We're going to do movie news, streaming,
Yep.
trailers, film reviews, quite a few actually, anniversary corner as well. But before all of that, Deval, what we're doing?
Two shout outs this week. Our first shout out goes out to the 5Fs channel. You can catch them on Telegram, and that's where we actually premiere our YouTube
Yes.
episode. So we premiere this on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. UK time, and the 5Fs channel. It's a great channel on Telegram where you can go there for the 5Fs. So it's fun, family, finance, fitness, and
Mm,
faith. All the Fs you need
great.
in your life. So go to that channel, and there's always something there for you, including us as well.
Mm.
So next shout out goes out to Emmanuel, our very own Emmanuel. I think some people have been saying they haven't seen him for a while and they want
Shh.
to see him.
Emmanuel's
So
there, man. He's going to
he
be
is
there. We're going
there.
to bring him
He is
back on the
there.
show. So, Emmanuel, if you're listening, you're going to be coming on.
Exactly. Also, you can catch him, I think, on this week's episode of Crime Watch. So you'll see like a crime, and his, his mug will be on the screen. So you'll see that bank robbery. It wasn't even a
Wanted
bank; it was a post office. Yeah, this guy's trying to steal stamps because obviously the Queen's
on
gone,
his
and he wanted
moped.
stamps with the Queen's face on it. So yeah, so you'll see him on this
Oh
week's
my
Crime
gosh.
Watch.
Deval, you know what? This is so funny because we didn't even mention. I mean, not that I want to mention it or anything like that, but
Oh,
it's been
mm,
a couple of weeks. But yeah, with that whole Queenie stuff, it just kind
yep,
of we never mentioned it on the show. So I mean, how much of a big deal was it back home?
massive, massive. Like every channel, every news broadcast, everything. Everyone was talking about it. Advertising stopped on a couple of days. No advertising at all. It was just, yeah, massive, massive event. This is England, so
Damn.
it's
Yeah,
literally
exactly. It's,
the mother
you
of
know it's a
England.
yeah, it's a big deal when they cancel Butlin's holidays, man. Like,
Oh
that's when
my
you know, like,
gosh.
I
Yeah.
know, it's just seriously crazy, crazy. All right, listen, look, we're
Yep.
gonna get onto the show, folks. We really, really hope you enjoyed the show. And remember, you can catch us on YouTube. You can watch the episodes. Hit us up on Instagram, the usual at the Flixters, and keep it locked with us. And let's see where we take you. All right, movie news. Devout, mate. I haven't even seen the first
Hmm.
season of this, and they're already talking about season two. Tell me about this, man.
So yeah, so I've seen one or two episodes of Halo. This is obviously Halo, the computer game, video
Yeah,
game, the Microsoft owned franchise of these like Call of Duty, but a bit more futuristic.
yeah,
They have these suits, these mechanized, is that the word I'm looking for? But these really
yeah.
techno suits that they wear to go out and fight against these aliens on a distant planet. And it's massive, like basically like Star Wars, but just a bit more grounded. And yeah, so season one happened. That's on Paramount, actually, Paramount Plus at the moment. You can catch that one,
Yep.
and that's got your friend Bokeem Woodbine,
Yeah, man. Oh my
who
gosh.
we know him from I Ain't Mad at Ya, Tupac years ago, and other stuff, and also Pablo Schreiber.
Yes.
who was in Orange is the New Black, and has been in a bunch of other stuff as well.
Yeah.
Den of Thieves, he was in that. So so far from what I've seen, it seems okay. Nothing spectacular.
Mm,
I didn't play the game, so I've not got any attachment to it. But if you
yeah.
did play the games, then I think you would like it a lot more. So season two literally just started, literally just a few days ago. So there's not much to really say about season two. When we get more information, we'll let you know about that.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who played the game, clearly it should be aimed at me. And listen, look, I've got Paramount Plus for about a week or so, so I'm going to try and rinse out that free trial. So we'll see how that goes. But listen, look, this next piece of news, let's get into this one, right? Um, Now, Anthony Mackie, people will obviously know from the Avengers, MCU, played Falcon for all the movies, and
Yeah.
got his own show with the Winter Soldier. And then there's kind of this kind of passing of the baton or passing of the shield.
Mhm.
So yeah, now he's going to be the new Captain America. They announced the new movie Captain America 4. Um, what was it? New
Oh,
World
New
Order,
World
wasn't it?
Order. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
But so who's going to be Falcon now, Deval?
So it's a guy called, well, his real name is Danny Ramirez, and it's going to in the actual show or in the film, he's Joaquin Torres, and
Mm,
that's a character that's come from the comics, who did it for a time. He did actually, you know, have the mantle of Falcon, and this is someone that is really trusted, like his ally, a bit like how Falcon was to Cap, like his
yeah.
right hand man kind of thing. We saw him in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. He was
Yep.
the guy that was helping him with a few bits and bobs, and I think he even did make a mention of his suit. Which kind of was a bit of an Easter egg to say, yeah, this guy is soon going to be wearing this
Like
suit.
attack.
So
He's a
yeah,
bit of a techie as well, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Joaquin Torres is going to, from what we understand, going to be the new Falcon. I think that's going to free up Anthony Mackie's, I guess, Captain America. He's going to, I guess this is the film where he's going to announce himself as the new Captain
Mm,
America. It's going to
mm,
free him up to be Captain America. So I guess, yeah, I kind of was digging the vibe of Falcon Cap hybrid, because I
yeah.
know we know Cap as the super soldier, but Anthony Mackie, you know, what's his actual name in
Sam.
Sam Wilson? Yeah, sorry, yeah. So Sam Wilson, he hasn't got any super strength, so he's gonna have to be very very smart about how he takes on his enemies.
Yeah, because
So
because I know you mentioned on, I think it was last week's episode, the leader's gonna have some
yeah,
powers, right? So how is he gonna go up against someone with radiation overload?
and superhuman intelligence as well. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see, because usually with Marvel they do this a lot. The superhero and the enemy have similar, strengths, and they usually fight, and bounce off each other that way. But this looks
Yeah.
like it could be something quite different. So it's going to be interesting to see how they
Do
interpret
you
this on
reckon he's gonna
screen.
take it? Do you reckon he could take the serum?
Possibly, possibly, but then this serum is not meant to be like what it used to. Because remember the original Doctor Erskine,
Yeah.
he died, so the serum hasn't been perfected since. So mm, yeah, I don't think he should now. I think he should just
Yeah.
stay as he is.
Yeah.
Stay as he is.
What about unless he gets something happens and then remember the other kind of Captain America, the
Oh
old black
yeah, yeah,
one.
yeah, 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 yeah.
There's a blood transfusion or something.
Yes, yes, that's true. Yeah, possibly that could.
They could
And
kind of
he's
do it
still
that way.
strong. He's still.
Yeah.
Mm,
All right, we'll see how that goes. So yeah, keep it locked with us, and we'll give you more information on that. Now let's speak about this one. So Daredevil, we know that this
mm,
is going to be coming. We've already been teased Daredevil's appearance in She-Hulk, so we're just
yep.
waiting for that kind of bit of a reveal. But there's another big, yeah, this is a big actor, man. I really like this character, this actor. So John Bernthal Deval, who we've seen in loads of stuff. What's going on?
Yeah, he's a gangster actor. Yeah, like you said, Punisher for me is one of his best roles that I've seen him in.
Yeah,
Really, really good, and he's going to be returning for sure in Daredevil Reborn, which is going to be coming out next year sometime. We're going to get a lot of episodes there, so I just hope that the Punisher that we saw, the Daredevil that we saw on Netflix
mate,
was hardcore. It
mate.
wasn't for kids, and the
No,
Punisher himself. He's a hardcore man. I argue that his series was the most hardcore of them all.
Yes. Yeah.
He doesn't take prisoners.
Yeah.
He'll shoot
Shoot
first,
first. That's
ask
good.
questions later. So I hope Disney doesn't water that down. I hope they
Damn.
don't, because if they do, then he won't be the Punisher. He'll just be the hall monitor. Do you know what I mean? He won't be. That's it.
Oh, monitor.
That's
It's
it.
true. But why did we tune in? Why did we binge watch that show? We watched that show because it was like this guy. It takes out people like like
Yeah.
anything. Like he just seriously just shoots everyone, mows them all down, and then he's like, right, okay, this is what I've done.
Mm.
Now let me account for what I've done. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, I'm with you on this one, and I'm pretty sure there are millions out there who agree with us too. Um, and if you're one of the millions, get in touch with us. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
All right, let's do She-Hulk. And Deval, seriously, man, I there's a part of me that's getting really annoyed with She-Hulk.
Yeah. I know, man. I know. I
Listen,
know. I
listen,
know.
look, the
I
whole
know.
Titania thing. I was like,
It's just
what is
stupid,
going
man.
on?
Let's just be
Is
honest. It's
I
just.
know
It
it's
seems
just
like
so
if the
silly.
Kardashians had a superhero show, this is what it might look like.
It's so true. So listen, they teased like in the trailers and all the promos and everything. Yeah, there's like Titania and everything, and she wasn't
Yeah.
in the show up until like the fourth, like third or fourth episode, and then
Yeah.
she gets battered basically, and then she comes back into this episode, and I'm like, right, okay, now we're getting a showdown. This is going to be kind of it. They're going to have a big, massive punch up, and they did it. They played it for laughs again.
This is a real comedy that just. It's just a real comedy. There's yeah, okay, you can have a good show and it be comedy and have action
Mm,
and all that kind of stuff. This is just, it seems too much into the comedy,
yeah,
into the comedy vein, and there's just no consequence, and it seems like a joke. Like they're having a joke. All these people got into a room and thought, let's have fun with it, and let's have our own like, let's make what we want to see, not what they
yeah,
want to see. I don't know,
yeah,
man. It's just a bit too much. And every episode, there seems to be some sort of like put down on men. Like fair enough, shit happens and people do
yeah.
things that they should be held accountable for. But it seems so shoehorned in that this show is about just yeah,
Like
just I don't know.
empowerment, and it's
Yeah,
like,
it's just a bit too much. It's just when
yeah,
it's too much, it's just off-putting.
I know, no, no, exactly. And it was like, listen, look. So they have this kind of general. She's got to go to a wedding. She gets invited to a wedding and everything,
Yeah.
and like she appears as Hulk, but then the friend is like, no, no, like no, don't be Hulk. We want you to be Jen. And so there's all
Mm,
this kind of like small little things going on. And then on the flip side of that, there's another character who's got superpowers. He's called Mr. Immortal. Like
mm,
this guy, and the way they painted him out to be like he's a serial like he just keeps on getting married and he's like
yeah.
doing the dirty on the women, so this obviously that's another kind of commentary on like men
Mm,
and whatnot. But the punch up with Titania, and I was just like,
yeah.
she busts her up, she breaks her teeth, it's a whole big joke and blah 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 blah, and I was like, right, okay, all right, and then at the final few seconds we know that they're working in a lab and they're still trying to extract She-Hulk's blood. So
Yeah.
someone is out there trying to get her blood.
Yeah. Which probably might be the Thunderbolts or
Yeah,
someone like that, possibly. It
yeah.
just was a bit of a joke. Yeah, I wasn't. I didn't. The last two episodes I haven't really enjoyed, to be honest.
Mm, mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm still waiting for the whole kind of Daredevil thing. Maybe
yeah,
that'll be in the last two episodes. So we'll see. Maybe it could be in the final two episodes. So we'll see what goes on. So that's She-Hulk. If you are interested, then go check that
if.
out.
Mm,
A big if. Now let's do House of the Dragon, and again, the
mm,
tension, the kind of the intrigue, the death, the bodies are piling up, devour, and some would say, the Red Wedding
yeah,
from Game of Thrones.
yeah.
Some would say this is kind of like its counterpart, like it's equal
Okay.
because there's a wedding in this, well, kind of like a wedding party in this episode, and it
Mm.
ends bloody. Let's just put it that way. It ends bloody. But for me, the Wed Reading is still far superior.
Oh, come on. That was just the biggest surprise. That was the
Yes.
lots of death. That was big name deaths. and that was just that that was excellent,
Yes.
excellent. But what I've noticed actually with Game of Thrones, that every wedding that I can remember, there might be a couple that I'm missing, but there's always a death.
There's always, yeah,
Red
there's
wedding, there was a
something.
death.
Oh,
I know.
loads.
No, do you know what? Joffrey's wedding. It wasn't a wedding. It was the feast.
Oh, when he gets poisoned.
Yeah. So that was different. Sorry. Yeah. But there
Right.
was a
Okay.
death at. Is it at Khaleesi's wedding with Khal Drogo when those
I'll
two
Drogo.
warriors had a fight, and they said, "Oh,
Yeah.
if there's not at least two deaths in a wedding, it's not a good wedding." Uh, but yeah, House of the Dragon. Do you know what? I'm enjoying it. I think
Yeah.
we're halfway through now, so now we're going to get the other half where Rhaenyra and Millicent are older, or everyone else is going to
Mm,
be older, but they're going to actually switch actors, and
yeah.
I think maybe possibly the children of Millicent and
They're
the
bigger.
king, yeah, they're bigger as well. So there's going to be a lot more going on. I think this, like I say to everyone, one, try not to compare it too much. Two,
Mm.
remember that the first season of Game of Thrones, it wasn't what it was like. It
No,
was quite
towards the end,
low
like,
key. Yeah, things were, and the difference with Game of Thrones and this is that like the reason why some people aren't liking it so much is because Game of Thrones, it was very it was very like there was people here, there. Whereas House of the Dragon, it is about the House of the Dragon. It's quite
yeah,
contained, so
that's right.
let it grow into itself. Don't judge it too much.
Let it spread its dragon wings. But listen, look,
Ah,
there's can you feel the tension between those two, the
yeah,
Rhaenyra
yeah,
and
big tension.
she wants to
Millicent or
basically,
Alison. Mm,
she wants to basically rip her head off. She finds out that Rhaenyra, she bumped uglies with the knight, so
yeah.
she finds out, and then he's willing to kind of like give his life, and then but then
Mm,
what about at the end? Why
mm.
does she stop him? What does she want to use him for?
I think she wants to have that sort of
She
card in her back
or
pocket.
she or she wants to have sex with him.
Possibly because she's not enjoying the sex with. He's falling apart. Is his Willie even still
It's got
is his Willie
leeches on it or
still?
something.
He is
Or
a mess of a man. He's falling apart. Can you imagine? That must look nasty.
I know.
Ugh,
And then
all of
it's
it.
you know what? In this show, forget Milk of the Poppy in Game of Thrones. This is
Ah,
leeches. Whatever you get,
yeah.
just put leeches on it.
Oh my. And I wonder if whatever he's got was something that was natural, or if someone put it on him. Someone made him
Oh,
sick because you never know with Game of Thrones. You know what it's like.
the old hand of the king.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, all sorts. But I did like also the arrangement that Rhaenyra's and
Mm,
the Valerian son had, because
yeah,
he's obviously gay. She
yeah.
doesn't like him, so they both obviously they're going to get married, and they just said, "Yeah, do you know what? Let's
Let's play
just
our roles.
agree to have our own taste in menu, and just
Yeah.
yeah."
But they didn't explain, like, but so the night, the night that Rhaenyra is kind of was having a fling with,
Yeah,
he gets mental at the wedding and he kills the guy.
yeah, because do you know what? It's because he was pardoned by, I guess, almost pardoned by Alison Hightower, and then now there's other guys talking about how he knows his business. So I think he flipped
Yeah,
out, thinking, "Shit, I can't have my secret out to so many people." Like
yeah.
he needed to. He flipped out. He got angry, and that was, I think, his way of trying to contain it. Yeah, crazy way.
Yeah, crazy man. Yeah. So listen, look. I mean, obviously, like I said before, there's stuff going on in game
Mm,
House of the Dragon, and we're gonna have to give this couple of seasons. I mean, just like I
mm.
mean, did they green light? Did everyone know that Game of Thrones was going to be the show it was after one season?
No, I
No.
couldn't have thought so. No.
Mate,
Mm,
no one knew that. Like,
mm,
you just don't know.
mm.
So, I'm pretty sure there's going to be things to come. Right, okay, so Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, Devout. I'm on episode. I've seen episodes 3 and 4. I know there's a new episode, episode 5. I haven't seen that one, but yeah, what are you making of
I've
it
not
so
seen
far?
5. I think I'm halfway through 4,
Yeah,
and I'm
man.
still where I was last week, which was when I fell asleep.
Yeah,
So I've not got back to it, so I can't really say anything more than last week. But
yeah,
it's not it's not gripping me. I'm not looking
mm,
forward to watching it, which is why I haven't watched this week's.
yeah,
It's entertaining. It looks good. and hopefully the promise will, just like what we said about Game of Thrones, season one might not be the season to really
Yes.
talk about. Maybe it will grow into itself.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
yeah, yeah.
you know.
I mean, all I'm going to say is after watching this kind of fourth episode, there's a lot more talk of Sauron.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
There's more. So he's
yeah.
there in the background. He's
Mm,
there. We just kind of figuring out. Okay, when's he going to come, and is there going to
mm.
be kind of like a new thing? But they introduced Isildur, and Lord of the Rings people will know Isildur is the one who was supposed to. Remember, he's the one who was supposed to have thrown the ring in the fire the first time
Oh,
round.
is it?
But he
Okay.
didn't. He kept it.
Ah, okay, 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 okay.
Yeah. So
Mm,
we'll kind of see how this all plays out. So,
mm,
but yeah, it's out there.
mm.
So two shows. I don't think they're not in competition though, are they, Deval?
No, no,
No, they're
no, no, no.
completely different shows.
Yeah, definitely. There's no
Completely
competition
different.
there.
Yeah, completely
Mm-mm.
different shows. Like one's a different type of audience. Like so oh, it did have though a Game of Thrones connection. Benjen Stark.
Oh yes, yeah, he's in it, isn't he? Who
Yeah.
does he play? Does he play that old man, that kind of that fell from the sky? Is that him
No, he
or someone
plays
else? Okay.
yeah, he plays someone else in there. And when he came up there, I was like, oh shit, that's Benjen
Mm.
Stark. So yeah,
And also, Ned
Eddard
Stark.
Stark,
Yeah,
Ned Stark.
young Ned Stark. He's in it as
Yes,
well.
he's
Yeah.
in it as well. Yeah, yeah. There you go. All
Two
right, okay.
Starks.
Right, let's do this. Oh, I want to give just a few minutes to this one because I was really straight off the bat. I was really
Mm.
kind of impressed with Andor.
Mm.
Disney, they dropped the 3 episodes, and the first 2 episodes were a nice kind of introduction to the character. He's kind of you know what it did. It gave me a Blade Runner 2049 kind of a vibe at the
Mm.
beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's on a new planet. He's looking for someone, and he's a bit shady and everything. He does something. The Imperial Army are after him, and then it's leading up to this kind of little bit of a showdown, which I
Mm.
really enjoyed. But how are you making it? What are you making of it?
No, I'm liking it. I like the fact
Mm,
it's not just about Jedi's and stuff. There's other stuff going on in this Star Wars world,
yeah.
and it shows a character, a main character, the antagonist, well, no, protagonist, sorry, that is not perfect.
Mm,
We see him do something in the first episode that you wouldn't see the hero do, and
yeah.
we kind of got a sense of that from uh, Rogue One when we saw him there doing things that the hero wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's something that's a bit different. Jedi's wouldn't be doing stuff like that. And if they
No.
are, they're Siths. So it shows us this hero has got conflicts, but he's willing to do whatever it takes by any means necessary to
Mm,
get to his goals. So it's interesting, and also the other characters are coming. They're sort of falling into place as well, uh, and yeah, I think this could open up a bigger world with Star Wars that is much more than just Jedi because it's a whole universe, isn't it?
yeah, man.
Or
I mean, yeah. I
galaxy.
mean, I'm liking it. I mean, I think for me, kind of like Mandalorian and Andor,
Mm, mm,
these are the shows for me which I'm like kind of like really
yeah,
hooked on because they hooked me in with the character, the
yeah,
main kind of like character. So we'll see where this one goes. The events of this Andor they take place 5 years before Rogue One.
yeah.
So
This is
they
early. This is probably early than the most early thing that we've seen, isn't it?
Yeah, and
Because
what
Rogue
they've
One is
announced,
before. Sorry, go ahead.
Rogue One is before A New Hope.
New Hope. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So and then they've already greenlit season 2 of Andor.
You see,
So
you see.
so what they're saying is that they were supposed to do 5 seasons, but then because of budget
Mm,
constraints and whatever, they've decided to do 2 seasons, and then the end of season 2 will lead us up to Rogue One.
okay, okay, okay. All right. I can live with that.
So yeah, 2 seasons. We're getting 2 seasons from it. All right, let's do trailers, Devaldo. Now this is a knock at the cabin. This is going to be the new M Night Shyamalan movie.
Yep.
It's got an interesting premise. So two dads, they are having a trip with their child, with their daughter in a cabin off somewhere in the state somewhere, as you do,
Mm,
and the place looks kind of creepy, secluded, and it's idyllic for a moment, but then these weird characters, Deval, start appearing.
mhm.
knocking on the door, and in
Mhm.
the trailer, that's all you're hearing. You're hearing this knocking on the door,
Mhm.
knocking on the door, knocking on the door, and it's flipping Dave Bautista.
Mhm. He's
So,
he's an actor now. That's it.
yes,
He's an actor. He's not a
he's
wrestler.
done with
He's not.
Guardians.
Yeah, he's not a wrestler turned actor. The man's just an actor now. He's literally
Mm.
just and it's so funny. It's so you know what the thing that's so funny for me to see as him is because during his wrestling days, he wasn't the best on the mic. He's the guy
Oh,
that he needed a hype man. That's why some wrestlers have a hype man because
yeah.
they're not so good on the mic, and that was him. He wasn't
Damn.
so good on the mic. It was just he done his speeches and stuff, but he wasn't no Rock. He wasn't no Stone Cold. He wasn't Shawn
Yeah.
Michaels.
Stone
Those
Cold's
people
great.
never have hype men. He
Nah.
needed a hype man. So it's just so mad to see him now as an actor. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? He's so good now. So he's put in the work. So yeah, it's great. But yeah,
He's
it's
doing
just
it, man. He's been
yeah.
working with great guys. But this one, I mean, the premise is brilliant. Where like, I mean, they kind of give you the premise where they barge into the house, they knock on the door, they break the doors out, and they say, "Listen, you have
Mm.
to make the decision, which is because it's the end of the world is coming, basically." And I was
It's like
like,
a cult. It's like a cult, man. It's just do you know what I'm looking forward to? This is coming out in February. I wish it was earlier. I wish
I
it was
wish it was
sooner.
earlier.
But I'm looking forward to this one. M. Night Shyamalan. You got what's his name? Rupert Grint, who was in Lord of the Ring. Not Lord of the Rings,
Oh, was
sorry.
that him?
Uh from not Lord of the Rings,
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, but he's also in M. Night Shyamalan's got that show on Apple,
Servant.
Servant. He's also in that as well. And you've got the
Damn.
guy, Jonathan Groff, who was in that Netflix, the serial killer FBI show,
Mindhunter.
Mindhunter, wicked show. If you ain't seen it, go watch it. So
Brilliant.
yeah, some
Yeah,
good actors
and
in
he
that.
turned up in Matrix, didn't he?
Oh yeah, that was him, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a. I reckon it's a good trailer. It teases.
Yeah,
It's a good little tease. We'll see. Yeah, February. Shit, it's a long way to go, but yeah,
yeah,
we'll wait on for that one. All right, let's
yeah.
do anniversary corner Devaldo. Now this is from 10 years ago. This is the Ring. The Ring. Oh my gosh, man!
This I remember watching this in the cinema, The Ring,
Yeah,
because
and
this
remember
was
the
a
Japanese one, Ringu.
yes. This is a make
Hmm.
from Ringu. Ringu was how many years? I think 98,
Yeah,
1998, and then the Ring American version came out 4 years later,
yeah,
2002, 20 years. So it stars Naomi Watts, who we're going to
yeah.
talk about a bit later in uh, Dear Mummy. Is it Dear Mummy? Is that what it's called?
Dear
Good Night Mummy.
Mommy.
Sorry,
Oh,
Good
good
Night
night,
Mummy.
mommy. Yeah.
Yeah, so 20 years later, she still looks very similar. She's still doing a great
Mm.
job. But the Ring that had Brian Cox in it, like I said, Japanese remake, directed by Gore Verbranski. What a good name for a
Yeah,
horror
what
director,
name?
Gore. This one is the Ring's about a journalist who's investigating mysterious videotape
Yeah,
that once you see it, mysteriously you die after seven
yeah.
days.
You can't
And
unsee
it
it.
was, you can't unsee it exactly, which is kind of. I was going to hold on to this until maybe we saw Smile, which we're going to see next week,
Oh,
because that's got
yes.
similar vibes.
Yep.
It's got so I was going to hold on to it, but here we
Mm.
are. Had to show it. But yeah, The Ring. If you haven't seen The Ring, it still holds up well today
Yeah,
because that has got some. You don't even see the deaths. You see the the products or the you see the end products of
yeah.
what's happened, and their faces are so mangled. It's disgusting. When I first saw the death of Ring, I I, I remember this is one of the first times in the cinema where I had to look away because there's a bit where they show the body in the wardrobe, and when I saw it, I went like that. I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't deal, and I never
It's
do that.
nasty. I
I looked
know.
away. Honestly, it was
But you know what, Devat, isn't the whole premise like really kind of it's so good, like even from that Japanese one. And
yeah,
listen, it makes sense that they would do a remake because the Japanese film was so good, it kind of
yeah,
hooked you in so much, and it was just going to be a matter of time before kind of Hollywood got in there. But
yeah.
yeah, man, it's a really good, like, obviously the Japanese one version, go watch, but this is also a
Mm.
decent version as well. So if you can, there was a few, weren't there? There were a few. There
Remake,
was
yeah. Ring
there was a few
2, there's
remakes.
Rings. I think that was a time when they were remaking a lot of Japanese and Korean
Yeah,
horror films. A lot were coming
absolutely.
out. The
Exactly. So
Grudge,
listen,
all those
Grudge as
ones.
well. Yep, yep. There's that as well. So listen, yeah, go check it out. And listen, it's nice because we're kind of moving into as we get closer and closer into October, start hitting the Halloween kind of season, the kind of scary season. So we've got a few kind of movies that we want to warm you up with.
Mm.
And one I want to quickly speak about before Deval gets into Goodnight Mommy and everything, is this one which is on Paramount Plus. Now you're probably wondering, no one's got Paramount Plus. Your mate hasn't even got a email address to share with you. But listen, fear not. There's a free trial that you can get, so you can actually get this from your Amazon account. You just click on
Mm.
the thing, and you can sign up for a free trial, and you can watch this movie called Speak No Evil. So the first thing is it's a Danish Dutch movie, but here's the thing:
Mm.
there's no subtitles. It's all in English.
Oh,
This
okay.
is so people might be thinking, ah, shit, no, it's a European film. I'm
Maybe
gonna switch
Zakroff will
on.
like this. Maybe Zakroff will.
Oh my gosh. Now this movie, Deval. Let me just kind of set this up for you, right? Um, so a Danish couple and their child, they're on a trip in Italy, and they're having a great time, and they're enjoying the music, they're enjoying the wine, great scenery, all of that sort of stuff. But you know what, the husband, the dad, there's something up with him. He's kind of he can't sleep. He's always looking out, and it's almost like as if he's telling the audience, or we get the feeling that he's longing for more. There's something more
Mm.
or something unfulfilled in his life. And on this trip, they meet this other couple and their child. They're a Dutch couple, and you know what? He is an extrovert. The other person, and really charming, really lovely. They kind of get together, and they start having lunch together. They start kind of like having dinner together. There's something strange about the kid, their kid. The kid doesn't speak, and they say, "Oh,
Mm.
is everything all right with your son?" And they say, "Oh, he's got a medical condition. He can't speak properly." And that's it. That's all we see of the kid. He can't speak properly. All right. And then the Danish couple, they go back to Denmark, and they start living their life. And then the husband, the dad, he's still kind of longing for something. And then one day they get a postcard. It's an invitation from the couple, the Dutch couple. They said, "Hey, listen, we had such a great time with you in Italy. Why don't you guys come over to our little cabin in the woods? You're gonna have the best weekend ever. Just come along." Now,
Mm.
here's the thing, Devaldo. If that was you, what would you do in that situation?
Cabin, yeah.
Yeah, and you remember you just met this couple and their child like on a on a holiday
Hmm.
trip. Like you were just kind of holiday. You're not the best of friends,
My
but you met them, but you had a
yeah.
good time with them, and they're
My
really
reaction.
friendly.
Now, my reaction will still be the title of the latest Jordan Peele movie. Nope.
Nope.
Yeah.
Right. So listen, this couple, the Danish couple, they're umming and eyeing and everything, and then they turn around and they say, "Well, what's the worst that can happen?" And at that point, that is when you realize that shit, they should have stayed home. So they go over, they go over to the to Holland and everything, and they start meeting
Mm.
the family, and then they slowly, the dynamic of the couple starts to change. For example, um, the Danish wife, she's vegetarian, but the husband, the Dutch one, he makes meat, and he says, "Here,
Mm.
try the meat." And she's like, "No, no, I don't really want to try the meat." He's like, "Try the meat, try the meat,
Mm.
try the meat," and then she tries the meat. And the thing is, right, the Danish couple, they're so polite, the politest people that you've ever met in your whole life. They basically go along with everything. The music's too loud, and they don't say anything. There's kind of they start finding holes in the couple's story, and they're like, "Oh, everything's okay, don't worry about it." There's this one really kind of um, um, awkward scene where they go to dinner. They said, "Hey, we're going to invite you to dinner." The Dutch couple, they said, "We're going to invite you to dinner." The bill comes and it's quite big,
Mm.
and the guy goes, "Oh, hey," the Danish guy goes, "Hey, are you okay? Like, do you need any help?" And then he goes, "Yeah, okay, thank you," and he passes him the bill. So he just invited him. He just
Yeah.
invited him,
Yeah.
And then he says, "No, you pay for it." And then he goes, "What? So
Oh
you want
my
me to pay for it?"
gosh.
And then the Danish guy is like, "Okay, we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll do it. We'll do it. That's okay. No problem. No problem." They take everything for, like, it gets to the point where the wife is, even to the point where the wife, she's having a shower, the guy walks into the shower, like, it's all this stuff. The kid was crying, they take the baby and they sleep, they put their baby with
Mm,
them, and the guy is naked. And then, like, there's all this creepy crazy stuff that goes on, and it gets to
mm,
the point where the wife is like, "No, let's go, let's just get out of here, let's just go." So early morning, they get out, and they leave without saying goodbye.
mm.
Now, at that point, would you ever go back?
No.
The daughter and her fucking bear, she's
Oh.
just like, "Daddy, daddy, my bear, my bear, my bear." Would
Oh.
you ever go back? Like,
No.
seriously, no. 9 times out of 10, you would never, ever, ever in your life go back. But this
Beer.
is
I'll
the
get you a new
difference.
beer. Blimey
Exactly.
neck.
They go back, and let me just say, everything just goes downhill from there, and that is it. That's all I'm going to say. It's so, it made me so angry. I was so infuriated, but also that is the brilliance of the film.
Yeah, yeah,
Because it's
yeah.
just like, oh my gosh. And that's all I'm going to say. If you can watch
Okay.
this movie,
I've got
go
Paramount
watch it.
Plus. I've got it.
Mate,
My brother's one, so I'll use it.
there you go. There you go. It's a decent length movie. It's not too long, hour and a half. It
Mm,
zips by, and it's gonna make you so angry. But then by the end of the movie, you're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, what have I just watched?" The
okay.
twist and everything is just like, "Oh my gosh." But
Okay.
yeah, give it a go. Give it a go, and let us know what you think. All right, Deval, your turn.
Okay, so I'm going to talk quickly about Goodnight Mommy. So Goodnight Mommy actually is a remake. This came out on Amazon just a few days ago, Amazon Prime. And Goodnight Mommy is a remake on a uh, Austrian, Austrian film of the same title that came out in 2014, so quite a few years ago. And that film was very, very similar to this one. There are a few differences, but I'm not going to spoil those differences. But anyway, the premise of this film, Goodnight Mummy, is about a mother and her two sons. They're twins, actually. The mother is Naomi Watts, who we talked about in The Ring. She's been in other stuff as well, uh, lots of other stuff. She's actually meant to be in the prequel, another prequel of Game of Thrones that got scrapped.
Yeah, they got rid of that.
Yeah. And also the twins are Cameron Crovetti and Nicholas Crovetti, who we've seen one of them in The Boys, who played Homelander's son.
Yeah.
But they've been in other stuff as well. So actually, they are real life twins, and yeah, they do a great job. So it's mainly about them three in one house. The boys have come. The mother and father are not together anymore, so they're co-parenting. The boys have come home from being with the dad, and the mum has bandages all over her face. So something's happened. We're not sure what, but she's like, "Oh, boys, come on in. It's fine. I'm just healing." So bit by bit, day by day, the boys are with the mum now. Really nice house, by the way, out in the sticks somewhere. And you can see the mum isn't herself. They can see the mum isn't herself. She's acting really weird. Something's not right. Don't know what it is, but she's not also showing her face.
Mm.
And bit by bit, day by day, they can see that their mum is not the mum. And one of the boys says, "That's not our mum. That
Oh.
is not our mum." Yeah. And then like they start to investigate who this lady is and why she's doing this. And then the mum starts to realize they're not trusting her. It's just mad. Then you see that one of the boys says, "Oh, her eye color's different."
Oh.
Like, so things that are actually tangible she's doing that is convincing them that's not their mum. So bit by bit, day by day, it gets worse and worse. They try to escape. She gets them back. The police find the boys running away from home. The police are saying, "Oh, don't worry, we'll take you somewhere safe." They take them right back home.
Jesus.
It's mad, but yeah, it's quite a spooky film. I'll
Mm.
label it a thriller slash horror, even though it's horror more psychological than physical.
Yeah.
But the horror of, your mum not being your mum, that's scary for any,
Oh my man,
10, 12 year
absolutely.
old, which is what they got to go through. But they've got each other, and they try and be smart, and they try and work with each other, the twins, to try and, overcome the mum. So that's mainly what this film's about. And they do it really well with, subverting your expectations and dark rooms and dark looks in the mirror, the mum doing
Mm,
weird stuff, all kinds of stuff. They do it really well. So it's very similar to the Austrian version in that sense, everything
yeah.
I've just said. But towards the end, something different happens.
Oh, because in that one there was a twist as well, wasn't there?
There was, I can't remember exactly what do you remember the Austrian version?
No,
What happened?
I don't remember, but I remember you saying that there was a
Yeah.
twist in that one. So is the twist in that one different to this twist?
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
The,
so
the
they kind
twist,
of played around with it.
I didn't expect this twist all, at all,
Mm.
at all. It got me. I was like, what? It got me. The twist
Okay,
really
so I
got
gotta
me.
watch it. I gotta watch
Yeah, the
this.
twist really got me, and was probably one of the most smartest things in the film. Really
Mm,
got me.
mm.
Yeah, but
Do you
yeah,
know, was this supposed to be a cinema release or something?
I
Or
don't
no,
think so. No,
they
no,
just did
straight
it
to
straight to
Amazon.
streaming.
Amazon
Wow,
Studios. Yeah, Amazon
wow.
Studios. So
Okay.
it's worth watching. I'll leave it there, but definitely watch that one. It's on Amazon. You got no excuse.
Yep.
Hour and a half, not too long. Bob's
That's all
your
right. That's
uncle.
decent. There
Yeah,
you go. All right.
and then should I quickly talk about this one or?
Mate, it's entirely up to you. I mean, there's
Yeah.
been a lot of chatter about this movie, so if you want to save it for next week, there's no problem
Okay,
whatsoever.
maybe I'll save it for next week. Yeah, because
Yeah.
next week we'll do a double. We'll do next week. Don't worry, darling, and we'll
Mm.
do Smile. So maybe
Oh,
those are two film titles that you could probably put into one. We'd be very misogynistic these days. You couldn't say to someone, "Smile, don't
smile.
worry, darling."
Just
You get
smile.
thrown into prison.
Mate,
But yeah,
trust me.
so
All right, well, there you have it, folks. We really, really hope you enjoyed the episode. Go out and check out those movies. You can catch them on Amazon and Paramount, but Paramount you
yeah,
can catch via Amazon. So, yeah, go check them
yeah.
all out. If you do see the movies, and Zakharov, if you do see Speak No Evil, let us know what you think. And yeah, and that's it. That's all we've got time for.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Just pop in the Flixters podcast.